Hello and welcome back. Yep. Is it gonna remove my tags? Oh, okay. Is it gonna remove my tags? So, what the heck am I doing? Ranting about stuff. Okay. Well, it's been a couple of days now, so I'm hoping my headache's not gonna immediately come back as soon as I start thinking about things. Although I do have a blocked ear, which is quite annoying. Also making ranting somewhat annoying, because talking feels really weird. Anyway. So what the heck was I doing? I was trying to think of all the different things I need to do. And to that end, I don't know, I think I'll start to think about toning it back a bit and just focusing on the 3D rendering, but then there's problems with that. I mean, I don't know, it depends on many things. I was trying to think of a different thing I could do as well, which might be something that it's required anyway, so maybe I'll just work on that. I need some way of sorting things using the graphics card. Yeah, but I have absolutely no clue how I can test performance and things. That's the main problem here. I was writing at a Discord thing, asking them. Oh, I'm on Discord right now. Discord? Yeah, I was talking on Discord thing, trying to figure out the best way to explain exactly what I'm asking. See if anybody knew um, about how the graphics card works. Is that? Oh, that's something on my screen. It's a loading thing from the background. Yeah, I was trying to figure out the best way to do stuff because if the graphics card works in a way where the didn't connect the chat over here, didn't do anything with the chat, did I? Just refresh the chat in the Discord thing, in the streamy thing. That was not right thing. It seems to be working. Just didn't click on it, so it didn't have the interaction thing. Anywho, so yeah, I was trying to think of different things of testing stuff. Or an example to explain exactly what I sort of require without literally explaining what I'm trying to do, because that I don't fully understand yet. So I didn't refresh that one yet. That name's still down there. Yeah. Eh. And music. Red to buzz, then go next one. All of that stuff there. Is that? Did it just? Do I have that song twice in a row? Yes, yes I do. One's 8 minutes though, and the other one's 9 minutes. Weird. What's my RAM doing right now? Yeah, RAM is quite hecka high. I got that working. Let's crash it. I mean, there shouldn't be anything up with this browser. I only just started it. Crash that one. Crashy crash. That should free up a bit. There we go, it's 14 now. That's good enough. I mean, it's not 17, because once it hits 18, that's when we have problems. On Facebook go. I'm just gonna make sure Facebook exists. Oh, how's my hard drive going? I ordered a hard drive. What a Facebook message. Yes, you have notifications about me. Hard drive, where is my hard drive? Still on the other side of Australia. Okay. Oh, it's Friday now. It's the weekend, bruh. So it's supposed to take 3 days to get delivered. It's been a whole week. I ordered it before. I ordered it like Friday last week. Oh man. Apparently that's going by airport as well. Usually they just drive it up. It's 3 or 4 days. I order by a Monday, it usually gets here.
Mark Green, hey M8.
Hello.
Nice channel.
Why, thank you.
I also stream.
Congratulations. Stream what, though? That's the question.
Mark Green, emote. Mark Green, emote.
Oh yeah, bringing up ice creams. And a follow. Wow, I just remembered this really weird dream that I had last night where I streamed something and I finally got my 200 followers. Almost 400 in the dream. I think I need 200 followers to become the affiliate thingy or whatever it was. I just had the weirdest thing about the dream, and I just looked at the thing, and it was like, oh my god, it's exactly 400, yay! It took me forever to get here. It's like, oh, I get like no views. You're the first person that's been on here, on that site for a long time. Yeah. That music just died, because that's what YouTube does. Get all my tabs back in order. Let's chat. Okay, anyway, so example I was using on the thingy was sorting numbers. Sorting numbers on the graphics card would be a really handy thing, I think, maybe. I feel like if it was done right, it would be a heck of a lot faster than the way I'm doing it on the CPU, maybe. Perhaps. Actually, it is the same way. Ah, almost. Maybe. Yeah, I have no clue which one would be faster. And then the delay between sending stuff to and from the CPU to the GPU, GPU to the CPU is what really kills it, so it doesn't really matter, that's going to slow everything down a whole lot. Anyway, how could I have some sort of a test-to-test performance? The best thing I could think of is just throw thousands of it at the graphics card and see if there's a noticeable delay between the differences to tell how exactly the graphics card works. But I feel like I should just build the program anyway. So how about that? Let's make a GPU sorting program. Okay, now how exactly would I do this? Do I start a new project? I'm going to create a new template file. I've added a whole lot of stuff to this project. I really should just be continuing this. Then I'm going to have the whole annoying thing about how I need to upgrade the stuff from that one to this one. Or I could just build it into the project that I'm currently doing. No. Oh. Anywhere I look at it, it's going to be a hassle to start this. Maybe I should just continue on with the project I'm currently doing. It's just sort of a fun side project, but this is going to take all of my energy. I'm not going to want to come back. Okay. Where was I up to in my current one? Let's have a look at that. I think I was trying to create resources. I made resources. I had conveyor belts. I just had to connect things. Yeah, I really should probably just continue on the project I was already doing, shouldn't I? I mean, I could potentially increase the poly count by a whole heck of a lot, but I ain't gonna change anything because I suck at art and this is a bare minimum, so. Get rid of that thing. That's something I want to test. Okay, I found something which said information about that. So it didn't freeze the damn browser every time it's compiling GPU stuff. Without janking. Yeah, so some sort of extension thing. It's got this weird yield thing. So yeah, it's compiling the shaders and the programs, which is the thing that makes all the delay currently. I can compile it without it really worrying because I've got to load a whole lot of assets. So I just start loading assets while it's compiling, then I can check it, generally be done so it doesn't freeze. But the linking still takes time. So, what's going on here? Why do you have that? Interesting. Is that some sort of a special thing with the function that I've never seen before, or do they just push a button? Why have I don't know. Program. What? Oh, okay. Why slice? So. Yeah, what the heck does slice do? Yeah. So we're just cutting the two from the beginning. It's done that way. So I guess if there's no parameters, then it just gets the first thing. Weird, but okay. So you're getting the first thing. This is not within a loop. You're just simply getting the first thing there to do length. To do what? Okay. So I'm assuming the programs is an array of the programs, array within an array, so it grabs the first chunk of stuff that it wants to do and puts it through the thing. When it's done, it will grab the second chunk of stuff. I think it's supposed to work with this thing. I do not see a linking process. Wait, what's happening here? To create the vertex, you create a fragment, and then you create the program which attaches and links. That's the thing that's bad. But not? I don't know. So this is what I think I'm currently using, which is what kills it. Let's see if I can find my code. Code, where's my code? Code is in I mean, I want to say there, but I don't think it is in there. It was somewhere else. I feel like I would have put some sort of a thing down saying, yeah, code stop still replied. Okay. So it's that. Cat shade shader parameter? Where does that in here? Program parameter? Okay, has this got nothing to do with anything? Okay, let's look at my loading thing. How does my loading thing load things? You start off initially at the beginning with this stuff. So I got the vertex, render, post atlas, that puts stuff in the thingies. You compile shaders, you do this junk. And dump it all into here. Okay, so that's compiling shaders. What the world was it saying? It said something somewhere about not doing something. Okay, let's just skip that. Yeah. So that's compile shading, shader linking program. What's going on over here? So you're compiling shader. Never compile, what? Never check compile status unless subsequent linking fails. What? How would you know it failed without checking its status? I don't know, either way, that doesn't seem to be a thing I'm doing. Is that because I'm just completely relying on the whatever to take care of that? No, it should be this thing. Yeah, so I'm compiling the shader here, but I'm not checking to see if it's compiled unless I check here, so I'm assuming using the data information, then the name of whatever, maybe? That comes from GL? Okay, so that's checking to see if the shader is done. Ugh. So you're starting the shaders to be loaded, which is telling that to be done. Okay. And then this should be happening at the... Oh. Hang on, what? That's what's going there? Okay, nope, I'm wrong. Okay, so that's what's loading the shaders. Okay, and then this is checking if the shaders have loaded. This is being pushed into the hat. So I'm immediately doing both of these things? Oh, start compiling shaders. So that's loading the shaders, this has started to compile them. Yes. That's that one, didn't I copy this? I could have sworn I copied that. There we are. That's really weird how that works. Okay. Yeah, so this is the last lot of stuff that happens before everything's complete, I believe. So yeah, then we link the programs and stuff. Okay, so... We loop through the shaders, we do the check to see if it's done. If it's the same length, then we're done. Otherwise, we fail to load, return false. If this thing returns false, then it failed to load, in which case it doesn't continue to the rest of it because we can't link it unless it's loaded. Okay. So that should be checking the status thing. And then we want to link the programs, yes. So what's the difference here? Get program parameter. This is just getting program parameters? Okay, so I assume that's what happens after this. So we want to link the shaders. If one of these errors, it returns a false. So I assume when linking the shaders, I have that. No. Yes. So that's where the current freezing is happening. Because unlike the other one, I don't have this one separated by a delay because I don't. But I could have it loop those and then do this, which would technically give me multiple errors, I assume, if I had code problems and multiple shaders. You can see it all at once, whatever. Oh, don't leave kitty cat. There you go. You can't be sitting there, kitty, come on. Stay or you can leave, you can't sit up there. Okay. Alright, so what am I doing? No buttons were pressed. So go program parameter blah 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 blah. Okay. So I'm assuming this is doing that thing. As long as this extension is available. Which means I need to somehow check if that's available or not, for whether or not it's gonna go one way or the other way. But I feel like I should just know, because this thing takes time, doesn't it? What is this function again? Why is that's not even in a function? So linking process. Where is that over here? Nowhere. Okay. That's annoying. Wait, wait, what? This will jank and only check one program per generation. What does that mean? I don't understand. Whatever, let's just copy it across and try to figure the damn thing out. Alright. Terrible. Look at all these spaces these people do. I assume that's how that works. Okay. No clue what that means. Okay, so looking progress. We get the extension to do, so we splice from that. I have no clue what that's supposed to be. I'm assuming it's like this thing. So each chunk would just have that information. Well, shader 0, shader 1. We want to attach together, that's what that would be, I assume. To do length. No, I have absolutely no damn clue what that's supposed to be, because to do length, it's splicing the first index, I assume, out of an array. And then saying it would have a length of 1, unless it's supposed to have multiple things, in which case, why am I looping? Not to do length, so once I'm out of length, which means this is popping, yes. Okay, to do filter, x is equal to or greater than not program parameters x? Where is x coming from? X is that, okay, sure. So that's the stats as it says. It's a 0 to 1, so why or not? If x is greater than true or false? What is it? X is... Oh, x is no, what? X is equal to or greater than, but then we have x as an input. X... if... else? Okay, so it seems to have a built-in thingy. If that's not that, then it's this. And this is the bad one. Okay, so x seems to be the program? Why is x the program but was never... Oh, because x... yeah, okay, that's the program. Sure, we have x defined here, but we don't have it defined for that one. And then if this is the program, how can it be equal to or greater than? Okay. Do I have these variables in my code? No, just GL. Nope. Okay, so I could break that out, so I have these variables and I could just type it into the console and I could see what the heck is what. Or I could figure out how I got these variables in the first place. GL is data, data is that. I presume to assume. Let's just reverse engineer it this way. GL... Do I have just a GL here? Nope. Is GL the program? That's the program. What is GL? GL is... It is the no, GL... GL... Where's the... where the heck is GL? Okay. GL equals that. And then that equals that. Okay. So then we have my programs, and we just want to put one of those into this. X being the program. Let's use post. list dot program. True. Okay. Why is it that though? So X isn't defined. Unless that's false, in which case it's defined here, but I think that means it's not? Hang on. How does this work? Is let only within this thing? Or, like, I'm assuming this means it will only exist within that area. So as soon as we break out of that, this variable disappears. What is this? This will give an error. This will also give an error. Well, okay. Okay, I'm assuming it's a constant, so you can't change this. No? What? I assume this works better under the hood sort of a thing. But I'm not seeing why in the world I'd want to use that. I mean, I flipping flop variables around all the time, that's how I work. Whatever, okay, so that means absolutely nothing other than I can't assign it to be anything else. Okay. Well, so if but then it... So while this has a length, then we say to do is equal to do filter. Okay, what the heck is filter? Okay. So to do filter X, I still don't quite understand what X is supposed to be, but I'm assuming it's the program. I just have absolutely no clue how it got it. If the program... Oh wait, no, X is the thing. So word is what? So it's the elements within. So the element inside is X. X is... Okay, I'm assuming this might not mean equal or greater than. This means something else. So word length is greater than 6, then it stays within words. If it is not, then it gets removed. And this words is two things. Okay. So I think what this is doing is everything that's false is staying inside the list. Anything that's true is getting removed. And that way, when this doesn't have a length anymore, it's done, otherwise it keeps looping until it's done. Okay. Okay. Unless this doesn't exist, if this can't be used, then it's just going to be doing it the good old-fashioned way, which is basically just going to be looping this thing. Although it doesn't need to loop because it's just going to freeze when it hits this. So this will always break out immediately on the first loop if this doesn't exist. Which I sort of feel like, why is this inside the loop? I would sort of like that outside the loop. I guess it just gives you one return. And then the yield thingy? What the heck is this yield? I don't understand that one. Why yield? Wait, why is that after the return? Is that a special word? Why is that lit up? What? Okay, so that was actually a thing? So much I don't know. I was over here. Okay, so that apparently means something special. Returns a generator object? Okay. What? What? But, huh? Huh. Okay. So from what I gather about this, when you do this, it doesn't actually run, it just makes a thingy. Then when you say that next, I don't understand the dot value. But it didn't really mention the value part of that. Oh, yeah, value. Defined, done, true. Okay. So this has value and done. Yields is the value. which we set to be I. So the first time we say the next thing, it starts the code, it hits the yield, and then it stops. So the value is whatever yield is at that point, which is 10, because that was what was initially put in. Then when you run it the second time, it continues from this point to the next yield. So the next yield is I plus 10, which is 20. That's what value is. Then if you were to run this a third time, there's no more yields left to continue to. So apparently it just returns undefined, and then it's done. So if you wanted to run it again, you would have to redo this. Okay, it's a interesting way of doing things. I mean, the way I would do it is I would just not worry about that, and you just have this thing return. And then I guess I'd have a... well, you could do with a whole lot of ifs. I don't know. I mean, yeah, I guess I would just have a whole lot of ifs for states. If it's the first state, then you just do the first one. If it's the second state, you do the second one. But you wouldn't know the output of the first state, I guess. Okay, I can see this being useful. I mean, it says it's great for asynchronousy things. Very interesting. I wonder if there's anything else you can do other than next. I'm assuming it's probably like stop and stuff. Putting them within themselves. Yeah. So when you run this, that generator is this generator. And then that, I guess, is this? Alright, so the first one is 10, because we have 10. 10 is 10. That's that, it yields. And we just go again, so we start from there, we go to this one starts that one, this one's first one is 10 plus 1, so that would be 11. And then plus 2. Oh, I see, okay. And then plus 3, so 12, 13. And then the next one would go from here, out of that one, onto this one, so it's going to plus 10. Oh, 10 to the initial I. This thing was never saved back out again. Okay. Well, that's actually pretty cool how that works. So every time you call this, it just gives you the next number in the sequence. So that way you could just always have unique numbers. Sort of cool. I mean, it doesn't help if you were to delete a number, it wouldn't re-add itself back to this list, so, I mean, it's a thing, but sure. If you had multiple things in different places. Oh, I just mildly unlocked my ear, but I didn't. Okay. Yeah, yield unreachable. Okay, so maybe I was wrong about how this works, and that's not actually part of that. So that's just doing this first line. So if there's no length, it returns, otherwise it's doing a yield. Okay. As an object property? Oh, okay. It's a what? I have no clue what this thing is. Whatever, okay. Why is this one not like that? Whatever. Well, okay. It never talked about what functions you can have. I assume there's more than just a next. I suppose I could find that out by just saying... Here he is. What is this? Okay. Weird. I've got new stuff in here. What is this? Am I in a different browser? What browser am I in right now? This should be... Yeah, what? That stuff's new. Oh, it's probably stuff from this page, never mind. I know where I'm looking. What that means. I would assume there'd be something here that says next. Let's just go on in circles in it. What about if I do a... Oh no, it's well, that would just be... I don't know. I feel like there must be more than just a next, but... Whatever. Oh! Oh, mildly on... No, just blocked itself again. Just, it's so close. Anyway. Oh, what? Oh, yeah. Okay. So, anyway, out of all of that, what I now understand is I can run this function over and over again. Why would I want to? So, link process programs again. So we check to see if that thing exists. If it does exist, then whatever. So these are the things to do. We'll loop through the things to do. If that exists, then we just go through this again and again and again. No, not again and again. You do a yield every time. Oh! That's why it does a yield. Okay. Okay! So that's the percentage of how much it's loaded currently. Ah, that's great! Okay, okay. So every single frame I just loop this thing again until eventually it says 1%. Because when this has no length yet, or the length is... Wait, what? Yeah. So if that length is the same as what it initially started with, then it should be the same as... No. Because to do is a slice of that. What the heck is slice with no inputs? This can't work the way I think it does. I could literally just dump it through, see what it does. Spot. I just automatically type that in if I ever do an S. Okay, why? Oh! It's a shallow copy. Huh. A shallow copy. That's what that does. Oh boy, I can upgrade a thing now. Deep copy. I haven't used you in a very long time. I mean, I could, but no. I'd have to loop through it anyway. Never mind. It's expecting an array. I should say data or something. Let's call it data. Because that's just what it should be. Originally it was for arrays, but then I upgraded it for objects. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm learning a lot of things today that I'm probably gonna forget. What's next? Alright, so you're making a copy of that, so we have our initial programs and also a list of things to do. We loop to the list of things to do. If this exists, then to do is equal to filter, so we remove anything from here that is complete. And we don't do the else, and then if we have length, if we don't have length anymore, we return, because we're done. Just a return. Yes, okay, sure, why not? Huh? But, yield. Why return? So I'd assume a return would mean this yield does not run, but maybe there's something special in how that's done? Because with... oh, I'll just say done in the thingy, I guess, so that'll be 100%. Okay. Yeah, because if we hit this return, that means we didn't hit the yield, which means we can't loop this again. Okay. So I assume maybe perhaps in the example of the... what? Did I delete it? Am I in the wrong... where am I? Okay. So, no, because it doesn't have the function. I would assume the function would be part of request completion check. Let's do it if this thing here. Whatever. I feel like I could just assume. Where am I going? Going over here. So, again, yeah, blah 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 blah, that'll go. If it is done, then it returns, else it does the yield thing. The yield thingy would tell you a percentage. So if yield is... okay, I'm assuming this all happens in a single frame, why wouldn't it? So if the yield is... if this function is done, then we're done. Else, if yield is not 1, then I want to delay function this whole thing. Uh-oh. No, I must have a system for this. Because that's how that works. Okay, whatever. So I must have a system which delays the loading of stuff over frames until this thingy returns the true or false. Okay, whatever. So that will do its thing. And then when it's all linked together, we're all good. Because the errors happen in this one. The errors in code. Okay. So then we will do the next... yeah. So if we hit the yield, then we just simply run the thing again. It'll continue, it'll do the loop, it'll do the thing. Is it done yet? Boop, doop, doop, until it's all 0, then we hit return. Okay. So if we hit the exit, if we don't have the extension, then this is false, else. I mean, I guess we should have this inside of here, because maybe at some point the extension is lost. Don't know how that would happen, though. If WebGL crashes, I suppose, then everything would go wrong, but whatever. So yeah, else, if we don't have that, then we pop the thing out of the here. I don't know why it would do an X and then pop. Couldn't we just shove that directly into there? I would assume we would. Does pop remove, or does it just get? I'm assuming it removes. So yeah, it removes the last element. Removes the last element for array and returns that element, yeah. So that would mean that we remove the thingy, we run it through this, and it's either going to be a thing, or it's going to freeze the browser until it's a thing. And then we just do that through all the things, job done. Moving on out. So, yeah. So while I do like it when this does work, when it doesn't work, it's going to be freezing for a longer time. So technically, I would never be putting multiple programs through this. I'd be running this thing multiple times, each of the different things. That way it doesn't hang if you don't have this until all things are compiled. It'll tick past to show you that it's still running. Okay. Sure. Just also because I don't like how that thing works. Let's shove that in there. I'm also going to assume that none of this stuff gives a damn, because it never normally does. It might do if that thingy was that thingy. It might cut out when it hits that semicolon, so... Okay. Let's just make it look a little bit more like how I do things. I'll move that one over once I test to see if it actually works. Okay. I'm going to assume maybe there's something special about using these things within here, but I doubt it. I assume a var would work exactly the same. What is let again? I keep on blocking my ear, but then it just like immediately closes again. Immediately blocks again. Yeah. Yep. Okay. So yeah, it just helps with not having variables changing randomly around the place because you didn't name things correctly. But ideally I should never really be using vars globally. I mean, the only one I have is pi, I think. And the nothing, well, and functions, I guess. All my functions are those. So if I ever used a variable that was name a function, which would never happen because functions generally always 2 words, capital letter on the second word. Global variables should be capital letter on the first one and only 1 word. Local ones are all lowercase. And I feel like there was one other thing that was there. No, I think no. Global ones are all uppercase words. Local ones are just usually 1 word or lowercase. At least that's how it's supposed to be, but there's a number of functions around the place that don't follow the rules. Yeah. I haven't been muted this whole time, have I? I really hope not. Is that a message? Yep. Friend wants to watch anime. What else am I doing? Bump on the table, time on the screens. Okay, so where was that? So we're doing the linking process. This thing is going to be doing that thingy, whatever that thing is supposed to be. We can loop it, so that's all great. We can check to see if stuff is stuff. Which again, I mean, I could just be putting through programs every single time and that will be doing whatever it does and that thing just completes. I don't need to be looping it with this weird yield thing. I would only be doing one thing at a time, so it being a percentage doesn't matter because it's either completed or it's not. I'm not going to be doing that many minor shaders, but if I was going to be doing that, I could have all of the shaders compiling at the same time, but I ain't doing that. So let's now rework this thing to what I believe this thing should be. I'll keep that thing there. Okay, so the way that I feel like this thing should be is we don't need to know this. We don't need that. We don't need a yield. We'll be returning every time. We're only doing single things actually, so we don't need to be doing that. So we just return this. Else we return that. We don't need to do the pop. X is X. We don't need to do a return there. It's going to be one or the other. We're not going to be looping through things. So that now becomes this. If this is what it is, then let's grab that, delete all of that, and just shove it into here. Use a var because that's what I like to use. How does constant work? Is it a block thing as well? Or is it just a var that you can't reassign? It didn't really mention that, did it? Oh, okay. So it is a block thing as well. So both of them are block things. One just lets you reassign, where the other one doesn't. I guess just to make sure you've got everything going good. If it ever happens, you know you've done something wrong. I assume that's what it's for. So GL extension, blah 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 blah. We got an extent. If we have an extension, we want to be doing it that way. Which is going to be this. So instead of return, we just say if. So that should just be that one. Yeah, okay, sure, why not? Blink, blink. And I assume we just do that. And that should be done instead of this, so we just put that in 2 places. Oh, kitty cat. Didn't expect you to be back again. What was it? So, yeah, that's just doing that instead of this. So that should be able to just go away. And that's that. Okay. So, we get extension. Oh, wait, hang on a second. If this is not complete, what do we do? Uh-oh. Because this one needs to loop, where that one's just done. So how does this work? So this is basically just running the function with the inputs in this thing, and then this thing returns whatever that thing returns. Whatever this gets is if it's done or not. That's how that usually works, but how does that work with images? Because images are not done immediately. So images must be delayed in some sort of a way. Do I have an ID system? I would assume maybe. And it's waiting for the update of that. So on error, I'm just doing nothing. So it's this one. So that one's returning nothing, but if it loads, it's saying that in the console. Preloader does this stat. Okay, so we want this. This is that, and that is other way, and then we go back to that. So what the heck are you? Because then we go back to file loaded. Now let's just go for the beginning. We're loading an image. Data is for an image, for a texture. The texture does that. We go to new image. I'm assuming this gets assigned some sort of a thing. So preloaded to load. Where does data come from? Data is undefined, data is I. If load state is undefined, then data is I, data is data. How do we add back a thread? I mean, we add back a thread if that. How else do we add them back? Else. So data. Else not data. Wait, what? If data, else this. What is data? Data is undefined, we loop through the things. So out of the things to load, what are the load states of the things to load? And data is I. Data is getting dumped through these things. Okay. So when I'm loading the code one, it should also be getting data as an input is the first variable into the thing. Okay. With the rest of the stuff. So this should have data being put through, as well as anything else that it wants, which isn't anything. Data, wait, hang on. Data function. I'm delaying the function? Was there a reason I delay instead of running immediately? I don't know. Oh, well, that's an extra thing to it. So run code is a function? Oh, okay. I didn't just change something here, did I? Why do I feel like I did? So run code. Okay, so stat is the status of this particular thing. Yeah, so we're just straight up running the function, and is it true or false? Okay. So this now needs an extra state of I don't know yet. Okay, if it is false, do that. Else if something. 2? I mean, I just have anything else. I don't know what other things are returning. I might be returning something that's this. What would be an unknown? So 0 is... okay, so 2 is continuing. Let's just say 2. Don't need to do that. If it's a 2, then we want to do this again. Wait. Let's just do whatever. Delay function. Should be doing that. And then we just dump that through. So that will run this whole function again. And then we want to return. Okay, I believe that should work. So it's not going to do anything unless it hits that thing. So the function's going to try to run. If it returns a false. So if it returns a false, then it failed to load. Or failed to run whatever it's doing. If it returned anything else, if it returns a 2, then it means it's going to continue, so we want to run this thing again on the next frame to see if something's changed. I mean, sure, as long as this, because this isn't an iterating thing. If we wanted this to iterate, that would have to be something else, because we need the variables out of that to go through again, unless we have that new function, which I've now just discovered, so I could just use that. And that would do a yieldy thing and continue it to the next thing. No, it would not, because the yieldy thing requires a next. That would not work. Unless I stored the yieldy thing in a global place and the function just said, if this exists, do whatever, else continue it. It could do it that way. I don't know. Let's worry about that when we have to worry about that. For now, we just need it to run again doing the same thing. So yeah, as long as this thing returns a 2, then it should just go again on the next frame, not changing anything. So just run it again. And return. Because we're returning, we're not hitting the file loaded, which means it's not dumping it back into this list of stuff. We're not freeing up the thread. Or telling it to use a new one. We're still using the thingy here. Okay, yep. I don't know, let's just go with that. I feel like that's all I really need to do. So let's just hope nothing else returns a 2. It's not a 1, so it's not anything. If that's even how that works, it tries to make it a true. Hello, person to join. Feel free to ask questions if you want to know what's going on. Okay, so where... no thank you. I have absolutely no clue how I just did that. Okay. That's interesting. Confusing though, because it reorders list every time. It's the same order as this, would be better. I guess I could scroll faster than... Ah, whatever. Okay, what am I doing? Blah 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 blah. Yeah, you are you. We're going over here. No, we're going back over there. No, we're going over here. Wait, what are we doing? Okay. No, yes, huh? Okay. So you're doing this just as you were. We need this to return a 2 so we can tell it to go again. As long as nothing's being created here. Okay. So where's my function at? Oh, up here. Okay. So, this is going to be the link thing. If the link thing is not, then it is not completed. If it is not completed, that does not mean we have an error. Uh-oh. How do we know if we have an error? I gotta figure out what this thing says if it's false. I mean, I'm assuming... But then if it... Okay, maybe I need a link status. And that'll tell me if it worked or not. I don't know. Message on my phone. Message? Man, people just unmatch you so damn quick on Tinder, you know? Like, my phone literally just went off, I pick it up, turn it on, unlock it, and there's already unmatched. There's nothing new here. Like the heck, bro? Why even? Yeah. I don't know. Maybe this has something else which gets said. I don't know. Blah 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 blah. What am I doing? So let's just. We don't want to be doing this, at least not currently. Oh, that could cause problems. Okay, I'm gonna have to upload some problem code and see what the world this thingy says. Let's just put that there. So yeah, this should say I'm a... Equals. And we got that X thing there as well. You are program. Alright. So I assume this should be 0 if it has not done, 1 if it is, or false if it's whatever, true if, maybe it's undefined if it's not on, whatever. True when it's complete, when it's true we continue, otherwise if not we return 2. So if this is not done we want to return 2, so we can do this again. Oh wait, hang on, we don't want to be doing that again, we just want to be checking it again. Ah, damn it. Blah 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 blah. What are we doing then? Well, I mean, in that case, this thing is mildly better. Because we can link all of the programs, And then we can use this to check all of the programs without doing the thingy. But no. Yes? No. What? Okay. No. Yes. Okay. So we want to adjust how this thing works. Okay. So now we don't want to be doing this yet. We want to be doing a completely different function to check it. Okay. So you're going to be going in the list of the programs. We can just simply check the list of programs when we're done. I mean, I could just have it as a live thing, I suppose. Could I do that? I mean, yeah, I could just get this thingy and dump it through there, and that way, while this thing's checking, other thingies could be getting completed. Although I don't see how that would happen. I just have all the attaches happen, and then I have this go, so whatever. We are going to be using this then. Let's make a copy from the original again. So instead, we want to be doing a yield thingy here, because that's going to freeze and we don't want it to continually be frozen. When this thing's done what it's done, we want it to yield and then come back again the next frame so we can update stuff to show that it is continuing. Okay, so let's go through this damn thing again. So we have the programs. We want to, but then if we, so, So I have the linking that we are doing here, which is now not going to be freezing the browser. That's just going to be doing the linking. Now we're going to need another one of these things. That's going to go afterwards, but no, we only need one. Okay. No, we want multiple. I want multiple so this thingy ticks down. So I need each individual one to know that it is continuing, which means we don't do it in a loop. Alright, so we check to see if that's a thing. We don't do it in a loop, so the program's just the program. If this thing exists, we do that one, in which case we don't need to do a filter, we're just doing this thing again. We're just cutting that out. In which case it's just a normal function again. Okay, whatever. So we're just cutting this thing out. Link shader's done. Put that in here. So we're not doing any of this. So that'll just be simply linking, creating the program, and away we are. Oh no. I mean, I guess we would also want this thing to be happening, actually. Because we need to know what the program is, okay? So that's going to link it and set a program here. Okay, and then that is how we are going to find this to dump it through there. So this is the program. Okay. So yeah, you just get this thing. You check to see if this thing exists, then we get whatever that thing is. Is this thing finished? You let me know what it says. So if it is not, then we want to return 2 and go again. Let's just have an else. Done. Okay. Otherwise we're going this way, in which case you're just gonna freeze. And if it fails, it tells the error, else false. Otherwise it's an undefined, and undefined is true and it's a success. We only want a false if it's false. Oh boy, ain't that fun. How about you just never ever do this? Like, for the longest time, it just ignored this, and then I had to update for reasons, and now it's back again. I just literally never want that to happen. I have no clue how it stopped itself before. Like, it was never a problem. Like, I literally just installed Windows from the disk or whatever it was I had installed from, and it just didn't do the first update. And from the disk version, that never happens. But as soon as you do a proper update, that thing pops up again. Ever. I hate Windows messing with my computer. It works perfectly fine, just leave it alone. You give me something I want, then sure, I may do it. I had to update it to use the Windows Game Store. Worst possible reason. What am I doing? I have absolutely no clue if this thing's going to hit an error. If it does hit an error, it's just going to continue, and who knows what's going to happen. Maybe I'll just add a new shader to it, because I know currently all my shaders should be working. So let's just add a new shader that doesn't do anything, and it just makes an error, so I can see what the error is. Anyway, what am I doing? So, shader progress done. What do we need to know? We need to know GL. I suppose we need to know the name. I mean, I could just do the program itself, but let's go by name. In which case, we don't need program. So GL and name. And then we know it's being stored within here, so we can just get it from there. Program equals that. So you get you, GL is known, program is known, and I believe that's all the information we require. If this happens, we also want to delete it from here. Okay. So, again, we check to see if the thingy's there. If it is there, we're going to get the program status. If the link status is false, which I'm going to assume is false. Let me just Google that, actually. It probably literally just tells me if I had a look at it. Actually, I've already got it up here, don't I? I mean, this doesn't have an error problem, an error check. Hello people, join. Free to ask questions if you want to know what's going on. It's really pouring down with rain today. Sucks to be the delivery guy's gotta be getting me food. gonna go out today again, but the headache's finally gone away. Mostly. It's still ever so slightly there, but not enough to be annoying. Yeah, okay, so this isn't really telling me anything. Whatever. I'll just have to give it a go. So yeah. Blah blah blah, you're either going to be a true or a false, I assume, and probably a third one if there's an error. If the... I'm hoping it doesn't just infinitely loop if there's an error, so it just stays as false. So yeah, if it's false, we do a 2. If it's a 2, then it should be doing this entire function again, as long as we don't have any extra input thingies in the... I should actually just be able to have the function be this. Okay. Blah blah blah. It'll go again. We do not want that to be happening. Else, if it is done, we have it return an undefined, and undefined is working. We link what it says regardless. Well, actually, I don't need that one there. Just have it done. Then, if we don't have that thing, it will just do everything the way it was before. So, you do that, that freezes the browser. It gives me an error if this is false, and it's false because it didn't work, else it just does whatever. Okay. So that should be that. And now I just have to... Well, actually, I don't have to do any of this. Function can just be directly what it needs to be. So these are not necessary. So I just need those 3 things. These are now different. So we don't need that. That will now be linking. And the function that gets run here is that with the input variables of what I need. Do I have GL as an input? I do, don't I? Whatever. Alright. And... what was it doing? Linking. Checking? Validating? Waiting? Completing? Validating? I like validating. This music's a bit loud, isn't it? Okay, it's just this one song in particular that's a bit loud. Why do I feel like there's not an E? Validating? Well, it doesn't correct me for it. Yeah, there's no E. Oh. It's almost like I know how to spell it something. Okay. And now, yes, this thing. So we need to get GL. This is now a might instead of a will. And then we also need the name. So what the heck's the name of the shaders? There's no way to keep both on the screen. Okay. So render, post, and atlas. Let's copy paste them all across just to make sure. Oh, I can't have them on the screen. Sort of. going to post an atlas. I feel like I should have atlas go last. Oh, it would also say it there. Render post an atlas. I mean, because post is the longest one. Or should I have it go in the middle? Maybe the middle's best. So that you can see it's progressing, but then it takes a while. But then you can see when it's done, and then this one should be nice and quick. Instead of it just and then freezing for a long time. Although, then it would just be done. If you're gonna... whatever. Okay. So... is that that? This should all be under the wait state. Yep. Okay. And this is that. So supposedly all of that can go away. So you're just attaching the stuff and then linking. And then you set to the thing and say it's done. Then we check to see if it's done. Again, program is from there, GL is no one, name is no one, blah blah. We got the program is what was dumped into here. We have the thingy, if the thingy's a thingy, then we do the thingy, and then I don't know what really happens after that, and then this stuff happens. This has a state of 2 means it loops, hopefully that doesn't mean something else is going to be looping. And there we go. So... let's upload. Give it a go. Are you both on that window? Stop reading this heavy little stuff. Draggedy droppity, let's hope I haven't just broken everything. This has just been running in the background the whole time. Refresh. So much for all that ranting I was going to be doing. Why you no refresh? Refresh? Weird. It's like infinitely loading while also allowing it to be playable. Okay, let's see what happens. Parameter 1 is not type of... okay. 1670. Oh yes. Okay. Go again. Server is not defined. 7025. Huh? $70? Oh boy. $25. Oh, I copied the wrong one. Alright, well, it hit the thing. All the rest of the code ones didn't do an infinite loop, so... damn, that donate button takes a while to load. Oh, look at that! Ah, I didn't need to compile though, so... false, true, done, false, true, done. So it did actually take a couple of falses to do it, so... it's not immediate. We can see this takes twice as long as that one to go. Actually no, that one should have been happening at the same time, so that's technically 3 times as long to go. And that one happened to just be done already. Okay, so I suppose that's something I should probably do. Have the longest one go last. I assume it's compiling them all at the same time, but it probably actually isn't. Either way. So now let's see what happens if there's a problem. What's the last one to go? Atlas. Atlas? Shader Atlas, okay. Boop. That ought to break something. Okay. It broke at that point. Oh, but if it... So that was... Okay. Well, actually, it hit a fail. It understood that. So that's nice. Interesting, but nice. Okay, was I never actually ever running that other error? Check. Huh. I've never had an error with the linking, so I don't know. Okay, okay. I guess I just ignore it until something goes wrong. Not quite sure what to do about that. But hey, no more lag. It's always a great thing. Now I can make programs as big as I like, and I don't have to worry about it. Ah, I love it. Let's try one more test actually with that, and I was going to just clean up the code over here, so I was going to do. So we don't need this thing anymore, but let's just keep it there anyway. None of that stuff's happening, but let's keep it there anyway. We just do that. I suppose we could delete this. It's not doing anything that the other one isn't. We don't need any of these logs. Keep it there, because at some point if something goes wrong, I'll have that as a thing to validate. Cleared up the code. Don't need any big spaces around everywhere. Okay. So I think that's that. Yeah, I've never had this happen. I feel like I should just comment that out. I mean, I can keep it there, it's not doing any harm. Whatever. Maybe I don't need to do any of this stuff. Let's just remove it. I don't know. No, let's keep that one there. Just makes it easier to find because I know what I'm looking for. There's at least a log somewhere. Okay. Let's change some stuff, see how much... Well, actually, let's just dump it across directly and see if anything's different. So, oh, I just removed the logs. Literally the purpose of the thing I was about to do. How many falses do I get before I get it true? Before I get it done? Otherwise it's just going to stack all the logs together. So many textures to load. Or an 8. One more try. I don't have these textures compressed either. They are quite small though. 4 and 7. Okay, so that seems to be relatively consistent. Let's now try to flip this. Does it now have less give or take one. A lot of damn textures to load. 4 and 5. Ooh. And what if I was to put that one on top and that one on the bottom? Does that now take, instead of 8-ish, does it add an extra 4 of those ticks to it? Yes, yes it does. Huh. So it is compiling them all at the same time. Nice, nice. So longest one at the bottom. Have these in order of complexity. In case I feel like I should have a that in order of complexity too. In fact, I feel like I should rename these a little bit, just so it's nicer. That's right. Don't need to copy every time, it's the same thing. That way it's just like, that's all the same, and it's just that last word that's a different size. And this is all nice and straight. Pop those across a bit more. Okay. I think that should be all good now. Oh, where did you go? I should just have them all in the same order as that, though, I suppose. Which means they're just gonna bump that one up. Atlas. Render. Post. Okay, okay. Oh, I'm so damn happy that works. For so long I searched for this. So many people just kept telling me that it wasn't a thing. So many other people could not find this. Okay, it is stuttering a little bit though. And also I couldn't help but notice everything was just broken there. Where's the stuttering? It's deinitializing. Okay. Okay, so where did everything disappear to? This wasn't like that before, was it? Uh-oh. I don't suppose that's because I just shuffled things around a little bit, did I? All of these are actually the same, so as long as post is post. Render be render, atlas be atlas. What? Oh, that might be a problem. Just bump that one down to the end. We got a 0, 1, 2 for some reason. I have absolutely no clue what that's for. Oh, no, yes, what? No, I don't know. I'm assuming it's going to be that that's breaking it, though. Yeah, I've got a general idea of what that might be. What's that? That is two weird names, whatever. Oh yeah, there we go. No more lag! Yay! I wonder how well these things work. Lighting is just perfect, but normal maps are not. Although that is just all a normal map, so it works perfectly. But it is missing a dimension that the rest of them have, so... Whatever. What was that? Black wobbly thing. Okay. This feels a little stuttery than it normally does. Oh, them lag spikes. Ah, that's not my code. That's the browser lag for you. I may never know what that is. I love how I can have that with billboards, which don't even really exist. Well, anyway, so what the heck am I doing now? Supposedly, I'm gonna eat some food. Let's just see if a friend wants to watch. I don't know. I feel like I should probably continue with this project. Otherwise, it's just gonna die because all my effort's gonna go into the new thing, because if I'm gonna have to be creating new template files and all that sort of junk, then I'm really less likely to come back to this project. So, let's think about this project, while I wait for the response from that guy who's not even online apparently. Is he in the Discord? Supposedly he's in the Discord, but I'm not gonna join. Jump sideways like that. Well, one thing I gotta do is I gotta correct the rotation of these things, so that should still be the other rotation, which will hopefully fix the jumping a bit. Then we got my conveyor belts working. Oh, texture atlas stuff, that's right, I was messing with that, I couldn't figure out why it wasn't working. Okay, let's just have a look at this thing, and yeah, the texture atlas is what I'd be doing over there. So, you're in the post shader now, you're with the, no, you're not in the post shader, you're in the other thing. Are you? Where are you? No, you should be in the game thing, yeah. When doing the billboards, which are the components. You will have the same code, which I don't think is copy-pasted around as much. I've only got the 3 objects anyway, so there should be some place where I got some objects, and... Where the heck are the preload? Let me just minimize that. Okay. So let's just look at that thing, which is the, mechanical component. Where am I looking right now? Okay. Yeah, so this thing. How do I offset this without doing weird complicated stuff? So you got the player location, you got that object's location, you're plus 180 to it because that's what you do. And then I say 19, well it's 19 images minus whatever the rotation is divided by 360 divided by 20 because there's 20 different places over the 360 rotation. Is this complicated? No, I believe I just have to add an offset number. The problem is I can only add an offset number, I can't minus an offset number. And that offset number should be, I believe, half of whatever this is. But I think it's a minus that number, not a plus that number, which is the problem. So this is going to make it step entirely in one direction too far, rather than half a direction too far. Okay, the loading of assets really needs to go a lot faster. I'll have to create, well, even then. I wonder how that works. Yeah, so it's entirely off now. Although it's still doing the jumping thing all the same. I don't know, maybe I can just minus. Let's give it a go. Hello person, join for free to ask questions if you want to know what's going on. I wonder how I can get loading to go faster. I feel like the problem is compression stuff. Yeah, so minusing didn't work. At least I don't think it did. No. Okay. How do? Well, there's one way I can do it. But I don't like that way. Which would just be to offset the rotation between the 2 points by whatever that degree is, and then there you go. Because I need this to loop around. We can't have negative rotations, that's the problem. Which is why we're doing plus 180. Oh! Perhaps... No, that would be doing the same thing. I can add, but I can't subtract. But I am... but no. Okay. So, somehow I need to have it offset without going into a negative. So, I need to have it go into... add a function for this, damn it. I would invert it, so I would need to, if it's a negative number, I need to say 360 minus. You know what, let's just do that. Ooh, 360 minus. That'll do. So if rho is less than that, it'll do that, which will flip it around to the other side, which would mean that will do that correctly. I think. Terrible thing, because it's requiring an if, but it can handle all of those. Is that correct? I feel like that might actually be correct. Until it crashed. Missing texture. Yeah, you're looking for a -1, that ain't right. How are you looking for a -1? That's implying that it's a negative number again. Which this thing should be completely not doing. Well, I know that's going to be a -1. How in the world did it achieve a -1? I love it how I got that error now. Oh man, if I didn't have that error there, that might have taken a while to figure out. Still feel like I could do better with my loading screen. 365. Okay. It's too big. How do I... it's 365, what does that mean? How did that happen? How is it a 365? Had this always been a problem and I had just never noticed? Couldn't be. I don't believe it. I can't believe it. No. No. It can't be. But how was it? Yeah. What are you? Hit a negative. -3. So then 360. Oh. Because it's a negative number, you plus it to minus it. Unless you round it. I was assuming it was. I mean, apps did. Don't know why I was assuming it's going to be apps. Damn, 2 file names there that just bring everything out. Right, but that seems to work fine. Okay. There we go. Yep, I like that. Okay. Did I have a thing? Ugh. Like, I don't remember having a little bit sticking out of that X, but it's the gear that's in front. I love that so much. I do feel like it needs to be shinier though, but it's 100% reflection right now, so it's the skybox to the skyboxing. Okay, there we go. The problem solved. So I just need to override that line. And I believe there's one more around somewhere. Solid ingot, mechanical component, and the iron tube. Although this code is also on other things because it's a ticker. I mean, yeah, but nah. Technically, but how? It needs to be an instance, a duplicate. Okay. So if I had a copy of every single thing, the same way I'm doing with the conveyor belts, then I could keep the tick updates without having to create them again because it's stored within the thing, and then I just instance out things that need to be instanced out. That's really what I should be doing here, because newly created stuff is not going to have the same tick update. Oh man, it doesn't need to wait anymore. Oh, I can have it compiling the things while all this is loading. Great. No. Maybe? I don't know. What was I doing? Oh yes. Nah, it still does the jumpy thing. I could have sworn I had it not doing that at one point. When I had the sphere, I was walking around the sphere as if it was a sphere. Or maybe because it was a sphere, you didn't notice it, because it always had the same angle offsets regardless. Where this thing's flat, when it changes to the next image, it jumps. So it's always going to be off by some amount. Maybe it's less, maybe it's more even now, I don't know. There's probably some difference, but I just don't know what it is. Okay. Whatever. Job done. Next thing. Oh yeah, the Atlas thing. So I think I might get some food and rename a string back to the other thingy. Which I'll actually give it a name this time instead of calling it making a new game. Another new game. Yeah, so Yeah, whatever the heck that problem is. I couldn't figure out what the problem is last time, so I don't know, maybe I have better luck today. Getting the texture atlas to work with the data image for storing the data in the texture atlas rather than sending it up as uniform images, which I have a very limited amount of and also need to do weird stuff with. Or I could just bypass that system entirely and stick with the way that it currently works and just upload the atlas information for the textures that are required within the screen, which would be a heck of a lot quicker than both ways. But I'm still limited with 200 things or whatever, so whatever. But it would work perfectly fine for the foreseeable future, as long as it didn't have 200 unique textures on the screen at once. I mean, it's mildly possible, but yeah, let's just assume it's not going to happen anytime soon. Okay, how about we look quickly if there is a quicker way to load textures at once. I mean, that's the question. What is slowing it down? Is it loading the image, or is it when it finishes loading, switching to the next image that needs to load? Which one of those things is the thing? Oh. Oh, actually, there might be a third option there. How does my loading thing... No. Every time something's finished, it goes and does the next thing. Within that, yeah. So the onload kicks off the next thing he's starting. It's not on a tick-by-tick update. So it doesn't have to wait till the next frame before it starts loading the next lot of stuff. It just continues immediately. I could try upping the thread count. Even though that's not really how that works. I feel like just giving it the test, because the cat is quite comfy on me right now. I don't want to move. I have 50 apparently. No, why not? Let's go 100. Does this make things load faster? I am assuming not. No, that doesn't seem to be going down any quicker. Oh, we did have some jumps there. I think that's just browser lag. Compared to if we had 12. Because this computer's got 12 threads, maybe if it literally works on a thread-by-thread basis thing. Which I would assume has nothing to do with the threads in your computer, it would be something to do with something else. Yeah, that seems to be taking the exact amount of time, the same amount of time. I don't feel like that was any drastic change there. What if we only had one? Now this one should go slower. Yeah, that is noticeably slower. Although I have one, yet it has two. Oh, because it immediately goes away. No. Why does it have two? Interesting. So if I have 0, does it have 1? Or does it just not work? Oh, this has got one more than it looks. Let's go like 20. Okay. What exactly am I looking for now? Maybe I can just glean some knowledge from somewhere. What am I looking at right now? Tabbing all over the place. Let's just try that for now. Past it? It's too generic what it's given me.
This is Houston. Big came in peace. Below mankind. Buzz, this is Houston. Big came in peace. Below mankind.
Oh, also, a reply to this group that I posted in long ago asking about the questions which I've now solved. So just scroll down to my comment, can I? Oh, I can find it this way. I wish to filter this, please. It was 23 weeks ago.
Okay, Buzz, we ready to coming down.
Oh, let's keep that coming on. New Facebook tabs, apparently. Really? Huh. That's cool. I wonder if that'd be faster to make a whole lot of divs with the images. I wouldn't know if that... Oh, well, it has an onload, I guess. I assume it would be working the same. Okay, I'm not really seeing anything here. I'm not even really paying attention while I was scrolling. What I'm thinking of is maybe I have images load in dynamically while you're playing the game. And if an image is being called that is not currently loaded, it will just throw a default image saying like image loading or something. Like I used to have that. It's probably still got the texture around somewhere for it. Is it still in textures? I don't imagine I deleted it. I think I did delete it, didn't I? It was the last time I went through, I deleted it. Longest time that had been there, and I only ever got used once. But if I had that, then I don't have to wait for all the images to be loading, in which case I can just jump straight into the game, and then, you know, things get done as they get done. I could prioritize certain things if I know certain things are going to be needed or something like that, so I wonder how that would work. I could just have some sort of a list. If I want a priority of these things to be loaded, then the preloader will first check that list of stuff to see if those things are in there. If it is, and it hasn't been loaded yet, then do that thing, whatever's in the list. If it's done the stuff in the list, then just go back to whatever the next thing to be loaded is. So I could build a whole system for that. But that means I won't... Oh, you're unlocked. Oh. That means I won't have the buffer time between this stuff and the other stuff. So the question is, can I do this earlier? I do not believe I can, but let's give it a go. Just block comment that and put that down here. So I believe this should freeze. No. What? No. Oh, it might have also not frozen because there had been no change to them. Smart, this thing. You've actually got to change something for it to know. Did I run that test before? I don't think I ran that test before, did I? I was going to see how long that took. Well, I'm gonna run it now. Okay, so it did start up for a second there, but nothing that's Or what? Oh, my screen went black, damn it. Wait, it's back. Yeah, that takes a heck of a lot longer now. But it ain't frozen. That takes a real long time, doesn't it? Okay, but it is going. I feel like I should do something fancy rather than it just becoming yellow. I don't know. Like, because it really felt like it had just died, hadn't it? Let's just add that to it. So I got no guesses on how long this takes. I can just time it on my own computer and just put a, you know, it might take up to X amount of time. I mean, technically I could time this, send the information to my server, and then when people test it, I can give an average of over different people's computers. Longest, shortest. I was thinking about that before. I could literally be sending diagnostic stuff directly to my server whenever someone loads the page. No problem. Anywho, what was I about to do? Oh yes, so that works. So that's nice. The other thing, I guess, would just to be moving all of this stuff down. Because as soon as this stuff's done, then it is fine, I believe. I guess let's just block comment like I did the other one. I feel like because it could be loading the other stuff in the meantime, as long as that exception works for you. And you can do it without it freezing. I don't know. This keeps it all nice and grouped up over here as well, though, I guess. Oh, I need to change the shaders again. Oops. So let's see how this works. Because it could be loading those images while this is going on. I have no clue if it would have been. Oh, what? You initialized a little bit too early there. Hang on. That linking just immediately happened. Huh? That was hella too quick. Do I have to add more than just that? Let's do it. Maybe because it's a comment it doesn't count and there was no change in things that are relevant? Ah. Let's see what that does. Because it should definitely wait a little bit on those things. Yeah. Okay. Just a little bit. Okay. That is because you don't have an image. It's requiring Skybox to be loaded by then. Yeah, there are a few things that should be loading immediately. Basically this stuff, I believe. That stuff needs to be loaded immediately. Yeah, I mean that stuff technically isn't required, but I'm gonna load that immediately. They're unbelievably small, it wouldn't delay anymore. And then just some sort of a default sound. So default image, default sound, that's not necessary in the slightest. And we need the skybox to get skybox sizes for initializing stuff. There we go. So technically at that point it should then be able to start the game and all that stuff's just going to be streaming down the side. Yeah. Currently it won't work because I need to have that default image, which is so comfy. I'm sorry kitty, but I want food. I'm getting real hungry here. It's technically not raining anymore. Should I go get Subway or should I just have microwavables? I mean, I can always go out later. Do I want to dedicate today to horror programming? I mean, I really should. I've hardly done anything in ages. Okay, so let's just call that okay for now. I mean, I have solved a massive issue and got an idea of directions I want to push this forwards in, although I am not doing the complete recode of absolutely everything because that's gonna just... I'd rather put this effort into a project which can continue rather than doing everything all over again from scratch. Again. For the 6th time, I believe it would be now. So that would be version 6. What am I up to? Well, I mean, 4 then. Well, technically this is 4 because we started 0, so 5. Version 5 of the game engine. Ugh. Okay. Did I add the number of this one on here? So it's 0 to 0, 5. Yeah, it must be if it's a 5. I had the maze thing, and technically the maze thing take 2. The first person shootery one, which just never really went anywhere, but developed a whole heck of a lot of stuff. The spaceship one, where you did stuff to maintenance on spaceship junk. And then the then the space junk game, and then oh, I haven't. Well, I guess 0. So yeah, 0 would be the Pathfinder. 1 would be, I mean, 0 would be the the maze. 1 would be the shooter. 2 would be the space captain thingy, space janitor. Then it's space junk, and then it's the city builder, and then the one I'm on now, which is 5. Okay. Fractory. Okay. I think I'm gonna go now. So yeah, when I come back, I'll just do the Atlas junk. I'll probably end up just cheaping out on it, in which case, after that, it's back to doing conveyor belt things, so I gotta have it so I can input and output from the combiners. She's sleeping, having dreams right now. I really don't want to move. It's twitching. It was just flickering. Yeah. Because I just gotta have things going in, being combined into new things, and then that's basically the minimal stuff for the game. Okay.